Seven Samurai 20XX. It's a PlayStation 2 game released by Sammy Studios, a studio you might hear frequently on this channel, and developed by Dimps. Dimps you might know due to its birth coming from Takashi Nishiyama, an SNK's core development team in the year 2000. Dimps had a pretty successful beginning and was even entrusted with many popular IPs of its time. In 2004, Dimps were given the rights to develop a game to a 50-year-old IP, Akira Kurosawa's 1954 film Seven Samurai. On the project, character designs were created by a French artist, Mobius, whose works are dripped in everything science fiction, from concept designs of Alien, Tron, or even Fifth Element. Here's just a couple of video games that are heavily inspired by Mobius's art. You have Jet Set Radio Future, Gravity Rush, Griftlands, Sable, and even more recently Rollerdrome, and plenty more. He's probably the second most influential comic artist, right behind Hergé, the creator of Tintin. So, someone pretty huge to have on the team. Joining the team, composer Ryuichi Sakamoto, a man who pioneered a great number of electronic genres. You might know his other work from composing the original music to the film The Revenant. Having these two names attached to the one project blows my mind. Seven Samurai 20XX is a retelling of the film, just in a futuristic setting if you haven't already guessed. The game takes various liberties with the original story to best suit this title, which introduces anime and modern style designs, so it's more so a reimagining. But what went wrong? How was this game just forgotten when such huge names were attached? Well, let's see. What else was released in 2004? Oh no. Look, not that I can find an exact reason why, but after playing this and seeing the other titles released in that year, I don't think it ever had a chance. This hack and slash video game needed more time to cook. I understand deadlines need to be met, but honestly, all this game really needed was some tweaks and flair and a little bit more direction. I praised Shinobi in my videos, saying that you don't need your combat mechanics to be as deep as an ocean. Perfecting plain and simple is better than shallow half-baked ideas, but oh boy. Like many of this game's genre, it utilizes a combo counter to show off how many interrupted hits you can pull off, but it feels unrewarding when you drop a combo due to the game not having a lock on. It's the first time I've ran into a game without this feature, especially for something that feels like it really needs it. Too many times I was caught wildly swinging and not connecting. The core gameplay loop is pretty straightforward, from running down linear corridors and pathways until you reach a small arena, clear the enemies that spawn, allowing you to progress, talk to some NPCs, rinse and repeat until you reach the boss. When in combat, you have a few simple mechanics, such as the player's guard meter, preventing the player from spamming. The meter in your bottom left is your activated ability, allowing the player to dual wield for X amount of time. Although this meter depletes over time, it can be fully restored with a perfect parry, or, as this game calls it, a just guard. This dual wield mode shreds enemies and life meters and guard meters to any boss. With that, you can see bosses kind of become a breeze, especially since this game's parry window is the most lenient I've ever seen. But I have to give this game credit on the parry sounding so good. It adds to its reward and satisfaction. With all this mentioned, would you be shocked the reviews were mixed? What the game has got though, is its amazing aesthetics. I first discovered this game, along with many others, within a PlayStation 2 magazine having a demo disc. I remembered seeing it and needing to know what this game was. Some screen grabs within the magazine showing off levels that made me think of Final Fantasy crossed with Kamurocho and Yakuza. And after playing this, that feels pretty true. There's a little bit of Trigun sprinkled on top, but you get me. The character designs in this game are so full of personality and vibrant. Very little of the cast looks bland, and with everyone popping on screen. The same is true for enemy designs. A lot capture that edgy hard rock look that other games like Guilty Gear capture. Even the boss designs go hard. One of the bosses looks like Yujiro had a love child with Hack Fu from Jackie Chan Adventures. I love each of the boss designs, and it's definitely the most exciting aspect to this game. As you might have guessed, there are 7 main boss battles, with an additional 6 optional boss battles. Each of these boss fights are always fun to encounter due to their over-the-top personality or simply because of how much of a weirdo they are. One thing I wish this game calmed down on is the visual noise during battle. Too many times would I be hit from something I can't see, and using the dual wield mode is where I found this most prevalent, because it doesn't help when killing an enemy, almost like a rainbow flare gets set off. Another gripe is the speed of the game. I wish there was an option to be permanently in the dual wield mode, as it's so much faster, and honestly it feels more responsive to your regular attacks. The dub in this is pretty hit or miss. Mostly because of terrible audio mixing, where I just can't hear what some characters are saying, and since there's no subtitles, it doesn't help.
Okay, no problem.
Could you see the baby? Does he have it?
Yes.
But due to this being an early 2000s game, you've got popular voice actors at the time like Liam O'Brien and Crispin Freeman. All the delivery from lines
Hey.
What?
just kind of feel off. It's as if I was doing the voiceover. Even with this weird delivery, characters still hold charm and personality. It's not just the dub that feels off though. Many times, moments just move along without showing what would feel like an important scene. My guess is time or budget, because nothing in this game has time to breathe. Emotional moments are tossed to the side just to move the story along like it's a race at red line. With all these issues I've mentioned, is the game fun and engaging? Yes. Do I recommend it? Yes. Is it for everyone? No, absolutely not. My frustrations with the game came from wanting more, because there is a good game here, it's just covered in small annoyances. Once completing the game, you're greeted with a survival mode, a no item, no saves permadeath mode, which honestly doesn't feel that rewarding. The additional things that become unlocked are 2 new difficulties such as hard and nightmare, as well as a Colosseum mode. And Colosseum mode is reasonably fun. It's just putting you against the same bosses you have fought throughout the whole game, but without the levels. The other notable thing you unlock upon completion is the ability to equip swords or weapons you've collected from fighting all the bosses in the game. You even get the ability to use Kai Kisei and Soul Bad Guy's sword. It's a shame the game offered this after completing it and not between stages, especially since all these weapons are cosmetic. They don't influence or change the game at all, but whatever. Although this is jank and rough around the edges, I do actually like this game. Its characters and world won't be forgotten anytime soon. Ultimately, to wind it back to why I think this game failed, I think it's due to the combat. The lack of depth within the combat hinders the game. No one cared that it was based on the 7 Samurais. Although that's a nice bonus, I truly believe it was just combat and wrong year. I mean, just 11 months later, Resident Evil 4 came out, and that overshadowed every game. If you made it to the end of the video, and if you like this, please feel free to drop a like and subscribe. I've got a large list of games still to cover, so why not join me on that journey? I want to thank you to my Patreon supporters. Although I'm in the early days of this, I would like to keep doing it, so thank you, Defilier.